Welcome to the Glenn Beck program. Tonight, cap and trade is on the House floor. Oh, this is going to be great. We are headed towards something the rest of the world has already rejected. And who stands to gain from it? I'm going to show you behind the scenes the green people who are getting rich. Then, you remember Chris Dodd's sweetheart deal with Countrywide? The Democratic leadership doesn't want you to see how far it stretches. I'll explain. Plus, why did John Conyers back off his probe of Acorn? This is going to make blood shoot right out of your eyes. He says the powers that be decided against that. Who exactly are the powers that be? And how does this help crack open this case? Plus, the latest on the investigation into the death of Michael Jackson. If you believe this country is great, but the government is about to tax you right into green hell, save your sanity and come on, follow me. All righty. Hello, America. It is Friday. I don't know what you have planned. Maybe, I don't know, dinner. Night of amore, you know, or a blockbuster movie. Hey, you could always read that 1,500-page cap and trade bill. That's 1,200 pages plus 300 in amendments. Yeah. Here's one thing tonight. While America enjoys watching Transformers in the movie theater, they should be watching Congress because our country is being transformed right in front of our eyes and nobody's watching. The House is sneaking a vote in today, the mammoth 1,500-page Waxman-Markey climate change bill. Why are we bearing this vote on a Friday? Could be because the Earth's temperatures have flatlined since 2001, despite an increase of CO2 emissions. That's weird. That's almost an inconvenient stat right there, I'll tell you. Helping to swell the number of skeptical scientists to over 700, or 13 times the number of scientists who wrote the supposed consensus. It could be because more Americans are figuring out that this energy policy is just an energy tax and guaranteed to do only one thing, and that is raise energy prices for consumers. But don't take my word for it. Take the word of President Barack Obama. Here he is.
You know, when I was asked earlier about the issue of coal, you know, under my plan of a cap and trade system, electricity rates would necessarily skyrocket.
They would necessarily skyrocket. Gee, that's not what anybody's saying right now. Isn't that the same plan? Why in the middle of a global economic crisis would we even consider a bill that Wall Street Journal says would be the biggest tax increase in American history? Because it's not about saving the cute little fuzzy man-eating polar bears. Oh, good job. They're not talking about saving the spotted owl or the cumulus clouds or the caribou. The science is not settled on any of this, not even close. This is about power, money, and control. But America, right now, is all caught up with, oh my gosh, did you hear Michael Jackson died? Can we concentrate here for a second? Things that are important are actually happening. Like how about this? Who's pushing this energy bill? And what do they have to stand to gain? Well, let's see. Who are these people? Could it be maybe, I don't know, Nancy Pelosi? Nancy Pelosi has $50,000 to $100,000 invested in Clean Energy Fuels Corporation. We have, who's this guy? Oh my gosh, Representative Edward Markey. Markey, why do I know that? He doesn't name. That's the same as the guy in the bill. He wrote the bill. He has investments between $51,000 and $115,000 in the First-Hand Technology Value Fund, which has three solar energy manufacturers. And then, of course, Mr. Inconvenient Truth himself. Yes, Al Gore. His venture capital firm is heavily invested in a new software company that is making software to help companies track their carbon footprint. Well, that's convenient. He and his companies will make a fortune. and not only make this bill the politicians rich, but it will also increase the politicians' power as well. The government will control what you can and cannot do. You want an SUV? Oh, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? But Zori, oh, the mileage just isn't good enough on that. Well, how about an incandescent light bulb, please? No, sorry, they use too much energy. Quarter pounder with cheese? No. Meat is even more harmful than your SUV. This bill is a gateway bill. It will be used as a justification to regulate every industry, product, every part of your life that the government can get their grimy little fingers on. Politicians will get rich, the government will get more power and more control. Businesses are just going to pass on the cost. It's not, I'm sorry, but businesses are mostly small business people. They don't look like the monopoly guy. There's really only one loser, and that is you, the consumer, because you don't have a lobbying arm. The worst is, we aren't breaking any new ground here. While we're busy marching towards socialism, the rest of the world is running away from it because they've tried it already. Australia is killing their carbon tax proposals. It's already a complete failure in Spain, where it has resulted, listen to this, where it has resulted in 18.1% unemployment, more than double Europe's average. They are losing 2.2 jobs for every one green job created. I think the New York Times said it best on the EU's cap-and-trade program that started it all in 2005. Here's what the New York Times said. Quote, their plan unleashed a lobbying free-for-all that led politicians to dole out favors to various industries, undermining the environmental goals. 4 years later, it is becoming clear that that system has so far produced little noticeable benefit to the climate, but generated a multi-billion-dollar windfall for some of the contingent's biggest polluters. The New York Times. And can we bring up Congress, please? Let's show Congress. They are actually voting on this bill. They're still yapping back and forth. I don't know. I think it's a good idea. There they are on the House floor. Call your representatives now while you can still afford to have the lights on and actually see the phone numbers on your phone. Let's bring in Phil Kerpen. He is the Director for Policy for Americans for Prosperity. Phil, is this thing going to pass today?
It's going to be right down to the wire. By our count, they're at about 210 votes right now, which means they're 8 votes short. There are 15 left undecided. The President of the United States has been personally making calls, twisting arms. His whole whip team has sort of taken this over because Nancy Pelosi failed. She couldn't get it done. So we'll see. It's going to be right down to the wire one way or another. It'll either just squeak through or they'll actually fail and it won't pass.
You like watermelon?
Love watermelon.
I think this is a watermelon bill. You know,
I think you're exactly right. This bill is green on the outside, the thinnest green on the outside, and inside it's deep communist red. And, you know, Gorbachev actually runs an environmental group now. I don't know if everyone knows that, but this bill has only the thinnest sheen of environmentalism. Greenpeace said it'll do nothing to reduce pollution. Even the EPA says it might increase greenhouse gas emissions. This is just an excuse for central planning, central control of our economy.
Let me tell you something. First of all, 1,300 pages. America, here's 1,300 pages. They got it last night. Les Miserables, 1,300 pages, and Ayn Rand, Atlas Shrugged, 1,300 pages. Have you, I mean, you tell somebody, hey, read Ayn Rand, Atlas Shrugged tomorrow. Have it done by tomorrow. Nobody can read and understand that in one day. And this is what they've done.
They added another 309 pages at 4 a.m. this morning. And when a Republican asked, can I see the bill, can I read it at the desk, just a couple hours ago, they said, sorry, we don't have a copy here at the desk. So they're in disarray right now. Okay. Nobody's read this bill.
From what I have seen in this bill, this is nothing but another, this is a scam of another bailout. This is AIG gets rich on this. Goldman Sachs gets rich on this. Help me out.
You're right. It's all the same bad Wall Street players, all the major banks. AIG and Goldman Sachs have been involved in this from the very beginning, pushing this idea back with Enron. They actually hatched this in the 90s, and they want to make a fortune.
Goldman Sachs
was in the room with Enron when they came up with this idea. And they want to get rich by buying, selling, and trading these permits, this permission from the government to use fossil fuels, all kinds of derivatives built up around it. It's like inventing the treasury market from scratch. They think they can make billions and billions of dollars doing this. They are the winners. You said that there are no winners. Those big companies, those big Wall Street banks, they're huge, huge winners.
No.
We pay for